Hello, hello, hello. You're listening to MarkeThinkers podcast, the show that brings you everything you need to know about digital marketing. And we are your hosts, Jimar Merino,
Carissa Coles.
and welcome to our show. Hello and welcome to the fourth episode. Tama ba?
Yes, we are already
Yes.
fourth.
And we're already on our fourth episode and we're going really well. And with me is my co-host, Miss Carissa. How are you?
I'm good. It's so gloomy.
Yes, the weather is fine for me because I'm a pluviophile and I love the weather. And I'm wearing my favorite jacket as well because it's cuddle weather, as they call it.
Wow. So you're
And
cuddling someone. Who's you're cuddling to?
just my pillow for today. And I had sopas for breakfast, which is very perfect for the weather. How about you? What did you have for breakfast?
No, I don't eat breakfast.
Wow, the dedication.
I am intermittent fasting tayo.
Wow. Go for it. Okay, so let's get right into it. For episode 4, we're going to talk about trendjacking. And for today's episode, we have a guest. Okay, so this guest is a member of the campaign team at Emerge, of course, and one of our junior digital marketing specialists. So everyone, let's give a round of applause to Jerome Baladay. Hello, Jerome.
Welcome,
Hello,
Jerome.
hello, Miss Carissa. Hello, Jim. Hindi ko alam if I'm still gonna introduce myself, no? Pero ang ganda na kasi ng introduction ko. Pero just to add up,
Pero go ahead.
yeah. So just to add up also, yeah, I currently work for Emerge. I'm part of the digital campaign team. So I'm a junior digital marketing specialist. On top of that, I also write for one of our side digital platforms, which is yung Metro Clark Guide. And then I also write for Pampanga 360, which same then in a way yon so yeah, particularly really excited, and thank you for having me today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you today because the topic is very interesting.
Yes, definitely, no. Nagulat ako sa topic, pero in a way
This
still
is what we usually do.
Okay, Jim.
Yeah, because this is what we usually do in our, campaign process every day. We look for trends and we look if it's possible to trend jack us. But first of all, Jerome, can you explain to us what is trend jacking?
well, definitely no, trendjacking isn't really actually something new, no, before I give to the definition of it. Trendjacking has been done long ago pa, particularly for advertisement purposes. But because of the presence of social media, it changed, kumbaga, the game of how we use trendjacking. And just to actually give it a simple explanation, trendjacking is actually a combination of two words, if you're really familiar with it. No? The first word is trend, of course, when we're talking about things that are always on the news, things that are always being engaged, talked about, always in the now. Yan. And they're really garnering a lot of attention. And then the second word, jacking, of course, was taken from hijacking. Not yung not the airplane type of hijacking, ganun. So more of parang you'd be more of sub-person maneuvering or taking control of that certain trend and making it, or at least relating it to your own. Basically, you see a trend, you hijack it, and then you incorporate something of your own or something that you represent to also make it trend. That's basically trendjacking.
Nice explanation.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jerome. How about you, Miss Cars? What is your point of view for trend jack?
I'll just give what I know because hindi naman ako masyadong tumitingin sa mga trending ngayon, no? Trendjacking, this is a marketing, for me, a marketing strategy since we're doing it for marketing purposes. So you're riding onto what is trending right now and you're using it to as a leverage on your social media.
It's kind of utilizing what resources you have and connecting it with the current trending topic or what is the audience talking about online on the social media platforms. Okay, so Jerome, for my next question, in our experience, of course, working in the campaign team and as
Yeah.
a digital marketing specialist slash content writer as well, which clients or which industry can you transact for? Because this is not for everybody, right?
Well, I actually, well, that's a both a yes and a no. No, like anyone can definitely trend jack, but not everyone can trend jack a trending topic. Trendjacking in general,
Yeah.
talaga, anyone can do that. In particular, on the industries that work, all industries can trend jack. Pero may certain na binabagayan ng isang industry to make sure na yung tinetrend jack niya will not, ang tawag dito, will not lose its essence. At the same time, it wouldn't actually overcome yung, or their branding won't conquer yung essence ng trend jack na yun. It's really quite particular eh. Kasi there are many people who follow trend jacking. There are lots of people in the industries who are really up to using trendjacking as a strategy, pero ended up not having a very effective output.
Yeah.
And maraming mistakes na nangyayari most of the time here because there are some industries that they would always try to push their own brand or their own identity to the point that they're already erasing the point of trendjack, and it no longer works. So I guess to answer the question, all industries, particular industries can be health, it can be education, business, even yung ano lang, even simple demographics of kids, teenagers, millennials, yan, mga boomers. All of them can definitely trend jack, but not all trending topics can be trend jacked by them.
But how do you find a trend to trendjack or hijack? Because in my experience, I only know something is trending if I see it on Twitter, if I see a
Yes.
popular hashtag, or if a magazine or a lifestyle page is posting about it already or explaining what is happening. So how do you find those trends?
Well, definitely, we have to go back to what trendjack should actually have in essence. Siguro before I explain how, I better also give first. Kasi for me, there are like three things that you really have to consider before trendjacking something. Number one is yung appropriate timing niya. Another one is yung consistent yung messaging. And then yung third is, of course, yung effective dapat, yung execution. So going back to the first one, which is appropriate and timing niya, we have to understand that trends happen because of the always on the now mentality of people. That means for it to be trendjack, it must also happen in the now, or at least closest to in the now. Particularly nakakatulong dito nga yung how the algorithms of social media works. Kasi agad-agad nilang pinapakita kung anong nagte-trending because you always see it on your news feed. So that's one
Yeah.
thing. That's one thing looking at it. Pero if you ask me, like, Jeroen, what social media do you usually follow to see if it's actually trending or not? Yung parang for me is more accurate. Now, there are, apart from social media, there are websites that you can actually check that creates a summary of what's trending for today, kung anong country, ganun-ganon. So you can actually see that's easier. Pero, since people don't usually go on those types of websites, they do social media. Ako, in experience, I always follow Twitter. Bakit? There has been this kasabihan. Sorry for parang konyo na ako dito. No? There's always this kasabihan na talagang sabi nila, talagang yung mga lumalabas sa Facebook, pinagsawaan na natin sa Twitter, no? And I actually agree. Like, there are times na kapag nakita ko sa Facebook, naisip ko na parang, teka lang, parang pinag-usapan na to sa Twitter, like, noon, a week ago, ganun. So ngayon pa lang siya lumitaw sa Facebook, ganun. And particularly, if you see some trending pages, yung mga pinopost nila yung mga memes, ganyan, or ano, lahat ng mga screenshots, they're all from Twitter. If you notice that. Ako, personally, I always see the trendings based from Twitter. Kasi on the purpose nila naman nagpa-uso yan eh. What's trending now? Diba, you have a list. You see a list of trendings. And so yun. So for social media, I always go with Twitter kasi aminado, sila talaga ang nauuna. And then for for strategic or research purposes, I guess you really have to go on make a habit of checking your Google News, check your news feed at least as early in the morning. Kasi marami nangyayari overnight. Nagugulat ka na lang kung ano yung suddenly trending pagkagising mo. So make it a habit talaga of checking those. And kung talagang ma-effort ka in finding the trends for marketing or advertising purposes, I mean, you really have to check on websites that create summary of this. Lagi silang merong list of it every day. So for me, those are the three things. Social media, go to Twitter. For basic info, go for your Google News feed, and then the rest, go for websites that summarizes this. Although I think for this type of websites, parang kailangan you have to have an account, parang binabayaran siya. So if you're in for the free, then go to Twitter or the Google News feed na lang.
I agree with all those process naman, and all those methods of finding what trending topics are pertains to just one particular type of, social media research, and it's social listening. And we're all very familiar with this, and I think Miss Carissa can explain it to us. So, Miss Cars, what is social listening ba?
Social listening. So you're using tools basically to listen or to monitor what's going on social media. So you can use hashtags to listen to what's happening. So you can do that. There's a tool, yung Hootsuite yon. It's a social media listening tool. So you can create a feed or stream na you are monitoring for a specific hashtag. So that's social listening. You can also use Facebook, like search on a particular keyword or hashtag. Again, mas madaling nahanap ang Trendjack kung may hashtag. And I totally agree with Jerome. Number one, yung Twitter. Ngayon, ginagawa ko ng habit yung tumingin sa Twitter. Ayoko na Twitter personally. Hindi ako ma-Twitter na tao. Pero ngayon, dahil nakikita natin na very important yung trendjacking and clients also ask for it, ginagawa ko na yung habit na tumitingin sa Twitter at least once a day. Then, tapos itingin ako sa mga ibang news sites kung meron or lifestyle. And also, I check other pages na mga brands. Kasi itong mga brands na to, like Pure Gold and Potato Corner, sila yung madalas nakikitrendjack. Lalo na si Potato Corner, magaling yung trendjacking nila.
Graphics.
So, yung graphics nila. So, doon ako tumitingin. Pag may trend doon, yung execution nila, okay, trending to. For example, nag-trend yung Amanda Piolo yung Amanda movie sa Netflix, Piolo and Alessandra De Rossi ba yun? So, nag-trending yun sa Twitter. So, I was thinking, kailangan ba natin i-apply to? Then when I check Potato Corner, I check Pure Gold, wala naman. So, okay, hindi siya something that we need to trendjack. Gaya nga na sinabi ni Jero, not all the topics can be trendjacked for. Kasi you don't want to hurt your brand at the end of the day, di ba? Hindi pwedeng ipilit, then people are smart, netizens are smart, na okay, pinilit mo to, and the execution is not good.
In addition to that, if you remember si Minute Burger, they always use trendjacking. If there's a trending meme or a trending topic, they always release social media posts na graphics talaga, and then they connect it with Minute Burger. But lately, if you notice, may certain niche na lang silang tina-target eh. It's not like generic na yung audience sila. They always lean on the anime fans or those younger millennials na mas nakakaalam ng mga anime shows or TV series or anything na lumalabas online. So it's not like for everyone already, and ayun, nahati na yung faction ng audience niya. So my next question, guys, Jerome, is trendjacking worth the effort despite the challenges na, we are facing currently?
Like worth the effort for the company or for your page? Ganun ba?
Yes. For the company reputation and everything.
Alright. For me kasi talaga, it's worth the effort. Again, kanina, di ba, I've mentioned 3 things that I really think should be considered. Yun ngang appropriate timing, consistent messaging, and then yung execution. Effective execution. If any of these pumalya, for me, it's not worth it. To be honest. Kasi kahit magandang execution mo, kahit maganda yung graphics mo, kahit naging consistent ka sa messaging, pero pinost mo siya like after a week, kung kailan nag-trend, wala na siyang point. It wouldn't garner that much of excitement. Kasi yun nga, kailangan mong makiride doon sa crowd phenomenon that trendjack has. Habang dinadala siya ng tao, makisama ka. Ganun kumbaga. And again, also, in another example din dito is yun yung consistent messaging. That's why merong parang you should also consider the ethics of doing trendjack. Kasi there are certain possibilities that akala mo trendjacking pang ginagawa mo, pero in the end what you're doing is already clickbaiting, which is really really bad pagdating sa digital platform. Hindi mo namamalayan na tinanggalan mo na pala yung message nung mismong trend and you already incorporated your own. So in the end, parang ginamit mo na lang, although ginamit mo nga siya, pero ginamit mo na lang siya to promote something that is entirely on your own and not to actually maintain something that is original doon sa Trendjack. Basta kailangan consistent talaga doon sa tatlo.
In correlation to that, are you guys familiar with the life cycle of a meme?
No, but I'd love to know.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, siya, alam niya. Ano ba yung life cycle?
This is just a theory that I've read online and it's stick with me forever na. Kasi sabi ko, I don't want this to happen if we do this. First daw, a meme is born accidentally. Well, there is no intentionally talaga na meme na nagawa, no? So if somebody finds it funny and then share it with everyone else and everyone else finds it funny as well, yun na yung creation of the meme. Kasi it can be any moment na nakikita nyo online and then you will share it as a meme format and then gagamitin na ng lahat. So that when the meme is born. And then the next is, of course, the virality. Of course, it spreads like a virus. Marami na yung gagamit ng template. Marami yung mag-share. Marami yung gagawa ng sarili nilang version. So that's the second stage. And then the third stage is the brand starts to notice it. Okay, ginagamit to ng isang specific group or marami na yung gumagamit ito on Twitter, on Facebook, on IG. So we better use it as well. Pagdating sa fourth stage, that is when the meme dies, wherein the brands utilize it in a wrong way na nawawala yung essence ng meme and the meme dies out kasi hindi na rin ginagamit ng mga tao. So in similarity with trendjacking, dapat alamin mo din kung hanggang kailan ba magtatagal tong trend. Kasi if you're going to post 1 month after, is it still relevant? If you're familiar also with the issue last year, do you remember the lugaw is essential? Diba? The origination from that is that it's from a video na, alam mo yung issue, right?
Mm-mm.
And online, ang dami natin nakikita na nakikisabay with that lugaw is essential and then using the word essential so many times. But there's one page that I keep on, inaabangan ko kung maglalabas siya ng statement niya or something like that na magte-trend siya. Si Lugaw Republic. I was waiting for like a day or 2 days. Chine-check ko, nire-reload ko yung page niya. Wala mo siyang ilalabas na kahit anong fun or something na statement about, Lugaw is Republic, Lugaw is essential. So I was disappointed kasi wala. It came to the point na gusto ko nang mag-volunteer. Ako na yung gagawa ng social media post for them. Pero wala. So I think that's a hit and a miss for them kasi wala silang ginawa for that opportunity. Leading to the next question, guys. Should your brand jack a trend kapag may lumalabas na napapansin mo nga pinag-uusapan nila? Whether it came from a bad situation or it came from a very, very funny situation. What do you think, Jura?
Well, sige. To clarify also, when you trendjack something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's supposed to be a meme. Majority lang talaga ng mga nagte-trendjack, they become memes, no? And ang problem dito, memes themselves are taken from both bad events and also good events. So basically din dito, we go back actually in clarifying then who actually needs to trendjack and what they need to trendjack based from who they are. I remember one time we did a trendjack on the medical St. Clark, the hospital. They're opening their new, I think it's animal bite clinic. No, it's actually really something original of them. Wala masyadong may animal bite clinic within the perimeter of their location. And that night, nagkaroon ng news ang GMA about batang kinagat ng aso. He was bitten by a dog like for almost around 3 days ata, and hindi niya sinabi sa parents niya. Namatay siya. Unfortunately, the kid died and the parents didn't even know that he was actually bitten by a dog. So what we did there is we didn't create like a parang funny meme about it, of course, in due respect of the event, but we created an advocacy out of it. We created both an advocacy and a reminder na when the Medical City Clerk posted it, ang post natin is more of like a public service advisory to people na either this could have been prevented kung merong kung nadala agad sa clinic, and then another thing is yung hindi dapat tinatago, hindi dapat parang pinapatagal yung mga ganung uri ng aksidente. In that way, we trendjack, but it's not actually a funny trendjacking. What we did is we trendjacked, and we were able to create both a reminder and an information drive for people, especially also for patients. That's one part worth hustling about. Nasagot ko naman yung tanong, no? In a way. Ayun. So, and then
In a way, yeah.
another thing is your brand definitely can trend jack. Your brand can definitely trend jack, pero you really have to reassess kung alin lang yung i-incorporate mo from your brand to the meme entirely. Ako, to be honest, for me, the meme should at least have a 60%. For example, you trend jacked on a meme. For me, at least ma-maintain lang yung 60% ng meme. And then 40% yung ilagay mo that depicts your brand. Parang that, for me, that's the 60-40 ano niya doon. Hatian to make the trend jack work, kumbaga.
Yeah, I actually agree on that. And another question, Ms. Cars, what do you think are the signals or signs that you have to look for if you want to assess or decide if you're going to use this trend on our social media pages or brands?
Number one, Trendjack is fast and we have to react on it. So number one, gaano kabilis yung trending? And for another one is this relevant to your topic? You have to make sure yung industry mo, does it fit yung ite-trend mo? Because not all topics or trending na kailangan i-trendjack, right? So you have to make sure na it also ties up to your brand's personality. You don't, like yung kwento ni Jerome, yung example niya doon sa bata. Hindi tayo gumawa ng funny meme kasi the situation is not funny. So hindi na, we created something positive doon sa nangyari. And naging safe tayo kung paano tayo nag-trendjack doon. So yun yung mga signals. Make sure na number one, fast. And pangalawa, yung industry does it fit your brand. So maybe you can add more, Jerome and Jim, on which signals are those?
Well, siguro I agree with what you...
Yeah, ano ba yung mga criteria natin, Jerome?
Yung criteria, kumbaga. For me kasi, it varies eh. It really varies. Ang pinaka-importante lang talaga for me is that it's actually it's happening in the now, meaning talagang nangyayari siya in the now, hindi siya nangyari in the past, hindi siya nangyari like 4 to 5 days ago. Importante lang for me is trending siya. It's really making a big deal out of the people, and maraming nag-e-engage, pinag-uusapan siya. For me, that's the whole criteria of it. It's already in the job of the campaign team who will trendjack, or the copywriters who will actually create or relate their messaging to the meme or to the trend being jacked, na ipakita siya or i-absorb siya in a way na yung talagang proper pa rin. At the same time, dadala yung brand ng company or their call to action for it. Basta importante lang talaga, it's being talked about right at the moment, hindi pa siya lipas, kumbaga.
Actually. And one of the criteria din na lagi kong tinitingnan if I'm going to look for a trend na magagamit natin is, will people be able to connect to it? Kasi we're posting something, makaka-relate ba sila doon? Alam ba nila, magagets ba nila yung situation, or magagets ba nila kung ano yung pinopost natin? And even after na tapos na yung issue, and then they come back to our page and scroll our timeline, then makita nila ito, post from last month. Ay, oo nga, naalala ko itong issue nito. That will ring bell sa kanila, of course. And those are some of the signs din kasi na if it's relevant, if it's engaging, and if there's a connection to our audience. So I guess that's it, no? Do you have examples of your favorite moments on social media where brands transact something? Again, give your examples.
Ang dami. Mamimili. Kung mamimili ako, wala kasing naglilinger sa akin. Like, I remember them because of the situation. Pero, favorite, parang, ang ano naman, parang this is my favorite trend, Jack. Ako for me lang something that I really was really weird and yung nangyaring ostrich nanyaring ostrich escape sa Manila, because that was really something una kasi for me it's really odd na kailan nangyayari yun na magigising ka ng umaga and you see an ostrich running running on your street, di ba? Parang wow. And nakakatawa yun kasi one particular company, if I may share, na talagang galing na galing ako on how they trendjack was Angkas.
Yes.
Kasi Angkas was in the scene. Na videohan pa nga na nakastop yung isang Angkas driver. And agad-agad, that happened at 8 a.m. And then by 11 a.m., meron ng post ang Angkas about it na may promo sila.
Yeah.
So ang galing, like wow. I mean that's a great use of it. Pinakita nila yung picture ng ostrich na nakalagay yung angkas naka-angkas. Meron siyang angkas na uniform, helmet. Yun. Tapos and talaga they were able to relate to it. Yung mabilis na pagbiyahe, ganun. So I was really amazed on how fast that they do. It's my favorite because on how they were able to do it that fast.
Yeah.
Ganun. So for me, yeah, I guess yun na sige yung favorite ko kasi it's the one that I'm really impressed about.
Yeah, they saw an opportunity and they grabbed it.
Exactly.
As fast as like the outstretch running in that video. How about you, Miss Cars? Do you have any favorite?
Well, mahilig kasi ako sa mga pageant. Yan, nanonood talaga ako niyan. Siguro yung kay Boy Abunda, yung nag-trend yun. At saka yung mga bloopers nung Binibining Pilipinas, tawang-tawa talaga ako doon. Hindi ko alam kung may nag-trendjack na ng mga bloopers, pero yun yung mga something trending na ano ko. Tapos yung trendjack naman, yung sa kay Boy Abunda, ginawa natin sa sarili nating pages kasi hindi natin siya pwede i-apply sa ibang client. So, sa sarili nating page. At saka, ito naman yung, I think, hindi to nag-trending. Tayo ata nagpa-trend. Not sure ha. Baka kakamali ako. Yung sa The Medical City Clark, kay Oprah na signature.
Yeah.
May nagsabi sa akin na may friend ko, sinend niya yung screenshot nung signature na yun at nati-trending daw sa Twitter.
Yes.
Sabi ko,
siya sa Twitter.
Oo, hindi naman siya trending, di ba? Wala namang ganong trend. Kumbaga tayo yung nagpa-trend. So, pwede pala yung ganon. That's something na you can do. You don't need to wait for people or or kung ano man yung situation na yun na may mangyari para mag-trend. Sometimes, pwede pala yung ikaw yung magpapa-trending. So, di naman natin na alam na magti-trend yun. So, yun yung something na the client just gave us this idea. Ganito yung nare-receive nila. Then, we just created a post about it na something funny. Tapos, na-pick up dun sa Twitter. And yun, syempre, logo yun ng client natin and sa tayo yung gumawa. So, medyo nakaka-proud din.
Yes.
Nakapagpa-trend tayo. So, that's possible with Trendjack. So, yun yung mga notable sa akin na mga trendjacking examples.
Yeah, on social media platform kasi, you can be always two things. No? One is you're the trend follower and the second, you're the trend setter.
Yeah.
So, rare occasion lang yung maging trend setter ka. So, if you become that one, you better grab all the opportunities that come to you. Diba? Exactly. Well, definitely my favorite in this recent time, no? Yung naging issue again, yung Jollibee with the fried towel. And of course, ang dami lumabas the issues about the quality of food that are being served lagi, no, sa mga audience natin. And, in support of that issue, maraming brands ang naglabas ng kanilang statements na pertaining to fried chicken as well. And yun, ginamit nila yung opportunity to upsell their items but also support Jollibee and their costs. So, that's one of my latest favorites na encounter ko this year. Before we end this episode, do you have any key takeaways or advices to other social media managers if they're going to, trend jack something? Makikita nila. Sige, let's start with Jerome.
Okay. So, siguro reiteration lang, no, in particular of the three, yung paulit-ulit ko sinasabi all the way on the three factors for
Mhm.
uh, appropriate proper trend jacking and effective trend jacking. So again, guys, number one is appropriate timing. The moment you see a trend happening, no, agad mo nang you really have to write down na and correlate things about the messaging, the the branding, the colors that it uses, overall, no, you really have to parang himayin kumbaga yung trend, and you have to at least be quick enough to check if alin sa mga to yung mga kailangan mong i-adapt, so that way your messaging will be consistent. So talagang mabilisan pagdating sa trend jacking, kailangan you're quick enough to grasp it and understand where it can be applied, and at the same time be prepared to create as many angles as possible that you can relate it to, that
Mhm.
way your messaging is consistent, and then make sure that your execution is very effective. In what way? I'll really delve on tawag dito, effective execution, no. Don't make it too stretched, no. Sometimes you are so overwhelmed by what you want to do on the design or the output of the trend jack that you no longer notice that ang dami mo nang nalalagay, and it's no longer parang maganda sa mata. If you notice, there are a lot of memes that actually trends kahit simple picture lang at saka text lang na edited on the phone. Ganun lang sila kasimple, pero
Yeah.
they're very effective, and they don't really, you don't have to be a graphic artist to actually do it. Talagang if you just have a simple phone that can edit those, agad-agad. So ganun nila nare-realize na kailangan mabilis ka. Hindi mo na kailangan pang hindi mo na kailangan pang mag-erase ng backgrounds or linisin yung mga outlines, add strokes, shadows, ganun. So
Yeah.
the execution really can definitely be minimal. And another thing here is ano tawag dito? Another thing here is yung like for example on our work, we do understand especially when you're doing digital marketing for clients, we have an hierarchy of approvals first, 'di ba? So parang ang hirap na timing ang hinahabol mo, pero yung approval ang dami pang dadaanan, 'di ba, and all. So at this time, you really for this type of engagements, you really have to know your timeline. If you know na matatagalan ng
Mhm.
approval mo for it, don't bother na. Kasi talagang in the end kapag na-approve siya, una, your client will expect it to be posted, pero at the same, so that's already one problem, and then another pa is alam na alam mo na hindi na siya mag-engage kasi it's too late na nga.
Mm-mm.
No? So when it comes to those hierarchical approvals, particularly on your strategy of using a trend jack, either maging advanced ka na mag-isip. For example, sa Miss Universe, every year pag may Miss Universe, imposibleng walang meme after. Imposibleng walang meme during the Miss Universe itself. So kung alam mo nang may Miss Universe na mangyayari next week, mag-ready ka na. Kumbaga parang i-ready mo
Yeah.
na yung you really have to prepare na like taking pictures, taking monumental scenes from the pageant, and then be creative na talaga as much as possible. And then that way, you can easily send drafts, you can easily send materials while the pageant is happening for approvals. So that's one thing, being advanced. The other naman in making sure you actually have this good execution is you review the hierarchy of approvals. If you notice na for example, hindi na kailangan dumaan pa sa tatlong level or dalawang level, and you need to straight away send this to your boss, send mo na rin agad. If I'm not mistaken, Sir Jim, am I right? Dun sa TMCC, when we trend jacked on the asong, ang tawag dito? yung batang nakagat ng aso.
Yeah.
What I did when I saw the news kasi noon is immediately gumawa na ako ng copy. Hindi ko na muna pina-approve kung sir kailangan po bang gawan ng copy to and reshare ganun. Ang ginawa natin I created a copy, had Sir Jim approve it kung okay na yung copy, and then we inform at the same time sent it to the client. So, ang daming nabawas, umabot pa tayo sa timing nung on this type of trendjack. So I guess excuses can be made, pero syempre of course the quality, no, to make the execution effective still needs to be taken into. So again, those are the things that really for me has to be taken into consideration. Appropriate timing, make it as fast as you could, and then consistent messaging. Don't overwhelm it with your own brand. Make sure you take the essentials still, and then effective execution. Yan.
Wow. Very, very rich explanation and takeaways. So thanks for that, Jet. How about you, Miss Cars? Do you have any additionals?
Actually, nasabi na lahat ni Jay eh.
Actually,
So, yun na yun.
Yeah, I agree. Yun na din yung takeaway ko. Good job,
Oo.
Jet. After the takeaway, let's do something fun. Let's do a fast talk, Jet. So
Wow.
I'll just say two options and then of course, kung ano yung una mong piliin, just say it.
Okay.
Don't think about it yet. Ganon. Sige, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Spaghetti or palabok?
Spaghetti.
Beach or staycation?
Beach.
Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Adobo or sinigang?
Adobo.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
And for the last one, lights on or lights off?
Lights off.
Pag nag-work,
Alright, thank you so much. Pag nag-work.
Oh my goodness, may
I
ganun
guess that's
pala.
unexpected, diba? All right. Thank you, Jerome, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us today, dear listeners and watchers on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to tag a friend and subscribe to MarkeThinkers podcast where podcasts are available. If you like this episode, share it with a friend or simply follow our official Facebook page at MarkeThinkers Podcast. Keep that curiosity going. My name is Jim.
And I'm Carissa.
And with our special guest, Jerome, see you on the next one. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.